pressure on Rishi Sunak, who's facing a huge challenge to his leadership tonight when MPs vote on his revised Rwanda Bill. And there's a very realistic prospect that the government will lose that vote because of a rebellion from Tory MPs. And on that topic, I'm joined now by Conservative MP Bob Seely, who joins me now. Bob, thank you for joining us on the show on this historic day. Some news has just come in, a rumour, Bob, the DUP, 8 votes, intend to vote against the Conservative Party, leaving them only 21 shy of an historic defeat. How do you see this vote panning out at 7 p.m. tonight?
I hope we're going to win it. I think we'll win it. I think there may be a few abstentions or votes against. If you're saying we're going to lose it, that's news to me, and that's a big call, Martin. On what do you base that?
No, I'm not saying you will lose it. I'm saying there is talk you may lose it, and the margin is only 29 of a swing, and we've just confirmed that there are 8, well, we've heard 8 from the DUP, so that's just 21 shy of a defeat. And there is a lot of talk amongst the people, the 5 families, those who are at that breakfast aren't that satisfied with the outcome. Just speculating there could be a defeat.
Yeah. Right, let's wait and see, shall we? We can sit here speculating about lots of things. There's a simple principle here that we're reducing illegal crossings. They're down a third already this year. They're up a third in Europe. They're up nearly 100% in Italy. We're bringing them down. Rwanda is an important part of that. It's a highly visible part of that. Our voters, our constituents, my folks on the Isle of Wight want us to get on and deliver. We are trying to do that. I've heard some great speeches. I thought Rob Jenrick, who resigned, spoke very well. But I also thought that Geoffrey Cox answered a lot of Rob's points. And actually, I think getting this bill through will be an important tool. And I hope we can get those flights going. And that will act as a massive deterrent effect. And we can reduce illegal migration. Also, Martin, we need to be reducing legal migration as well. We need to be delivering what our voters and the British people want us to deliver.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people would agree with that. 745 net is simply too much. But back to this debate tonight.
No question.
290 million pounds rumoured to have been spent on the policy so far. Not a single person has been deported. And tonight's vote isn't just around the idea at all. It's about the legal principality, its watertightness. And that is what the Star Chamber were concerned about yesterday. We took legal counsel ourselves last week here on GB News. And it seems that the Rwanda Bill, even the V2, would be relatively easy to pick apart for even the most competent human rights lawyer. Do you not concur that that's the issue here? This may not stop us going round and round in the courts.
Okay, Martin, I'm not a human rights lawyer, so I'm not sure I should be concurring with anybody. But if I understand, sorry about the background noise, it's quite noisy here. There's a couple of issues that Rob raised, but also that Geoffrey Cox answered. One is about access to justice, that if I can game the system, there are plenty of lefty lawyers like Keir Starmer who will help all these people game the system. We have to keep the principle, if I understand it, of some access to justice. But we have narrowed it to the maximum amount we can in order to have a deterrent effect whilst keeping that access to justice. And this is as tight as we can go, as Geoffrey Cox made the point to Robert Jenrick's really eloquent speech. I thought Rob spoke very well. The second point is about the ECHR and these so-called pyjama rulings. These are Amendment 39 rulings when some Bulgarian judge gets out in the middle of the night and declares what the British government has done, what a sovereign parliament has done to be illegal. I don't want that. I don't want that because the British people don't want that. So I wouldn't mind a little bit more clarity on that position, how we can ignore these so-called pyjama rulings, these pyjama judges, striking things down at the 11th hour in the middle of the night. But I think, I thought Geoffrey Cox spoke really eloquently about you have to have some channel for justice, but you have to, at the same time, really make sure there are very, very clear boundaries so we game the system, or that people are allowed to game the system to as minimal amount as possible. Now, Robert said any delay in the system could be bad. But the problem is, if you don't have some access to the courts, you then potentially collapse the entire law, and we are back to square one. So that's why, Martin, I'm supporting it tonight, and that's why I think my colleagues support it tonight. we've got to get this second reading through. We've got to get the bill through, because one thing was really, really clear today. The Labour Party, Yvette Cooper, dreadful speech in Parliament. It's quite clear, no plan, no clue. It's politics, it's point scoring, it's posturing. That's all the Labour Party have. And the most dangerous thing, my friend, if we get this bill through, and if Labour win, God help us, the next election, even if this is deterring illegal migration, if we've kiboshed illegal migration, and it is still an if, the Labour Party will scrap that. That would be a disaster for our country.
Bob, 4 years ago today, you guys were elected on an 80-seat majority with the mandate of getting Brexit done. And that process, of course, was absolutely plagued by rifts within the party and across the House, because we had a bill, a Brexit bill, Theresa May's bill, which simply didn't satisfy the left or the right of your party. In that sense, Bob, it feels like history is repeating itself. How can a single bill please all of your politicians? And, Bob, if we do head towards a defeat tonight, which I know is not an outcome you would like to entertain, but if we do, how damaging would it be for your party and for Rishi Sunak? OK. Firstly, I'm not dealing with hypotheticals, because I think it'll pass, so let's wait and see. I'm not going to say, oh, it's like this and oh, it's like that. I think this vote will pass. I'll be supporting it. I urge my colleagues to do so as well. As regards your bigger question about Brexit, about migration, these are massive issues which are stressing out societies and governments elsewhere, absolutely everywhere in Europe. And, you know, we still have a growing economy in this country. Germany's got these problems, and with an economy that's shrinking. Italy as well, not doing well. So these are issues that are really gripping people and gripping political society. We are tackling them. Fine. There's tension within our ranks, absolutely. There was over Brexit, and there is now again. But we are dealing with them, compared to a Labour Party that offers absolutely nothing, but sits on the sidelines, carping, wanting us to fail, and yet not having a clue what they would do, apart from what we were doing a few years ago if they were in power. So, yes, it's being difficult for us, and it's testing us. None of the other parties have a clue what to do. OK, Bob C., thank you for that impassioned defence. I think we know how you're going to vote tonight. Good luck with that.